So let's just say you're an average, regular American person, and you decide to do something very, very special for the upcoming holiday season. You decide to go and grab tickets to go fly out and see your parents. So you go ahead and you're online or something and you buy your tickets for you and your family. The day comes for your flight and you have all your bags packed and you are ready to go. And when you get to the airport, you see this big old board that has all these flights on it and it says that your flight has been canceled. You think, well, that's strange. I wonder what the holdup is. So you go up to the front desk and ask the worker there what's wrong with all those flights, as it's not just your flight, as it is dozens and dozens of flights that have been canceled. The woman at the desk smiles back at you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. We are having weather issues." You peer out the window to see that the sky is bright blue without a cloud in sight. You find this very, very strange. After your disappointing airplane experience, you decide that now would be a great time to catch up on some Thanksgiving shopping. You think that it would be a better time now to buy a turkey than instead of next month when everyone is trying to buy a turkey. You go to the store, and the price of turkey is just absolutely outrageous. In fact, you shop around a little bit more and find out that the prices of everything are absolutely outrageous. And you're also seeing shelves empty all over the place at your local store. How could all of this be happening, you think to yourself? And you find this very, very strange. Okay, so those two were very stressful events. So you decide to relax and look at Amazon for maybe an early Christmas present for you or your kids, or buying other things that you might need. You click accept on one of the items and pay for it, but it says that the delivery may take a long time. You find this very strange. You decide that this day is just too strange for you, so you just decide to jump in your car just to clear your head for a little bit. You are driving when a light flashes in your car. You are out of gas. Luckily, there's a gas station close by, and you make it just in time. But you look at the price of gas and it is extremely high. Wasn't it just a few months ago that gas was lower? You think to yourself as you're pumping the gas. You find this very strange. The next day, you decide to go to work at a job that you've been working at for 5 years, and your boss calls you into his office. You both take a seat as the boss begins to talk to you about how you have not received the COVID-19 vaccine yet. And if you don't get the vaccine, then the company will have to fire you. You get angry and exclaim that you have had COVID before, and you have antibodies, and your doctor told you that you cannot get the vaccine because you have a heart condition that could get worse due to the vaccine. You're even willing to take a test every single week. Your boss doesn't listen to you and says a rule is a rule. So now you have to pick between your livelihood and your freedom. Which one will you choose? Do you stand up for what you believe in, or do you give in to the government mandate? As you think about all of this, you can't help but whisper underneath your breath, "This is so strange." What's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Dockery with the Dockery Docket. We are here with our very 80th episode of the Dockery Docket. I'm excited to be here, and I hope that you are excited to be here as well. And if you are excited to be here as well, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do everything that a good listener does. So, right now, there are a lot of people that are going through that exact story that I read. Their flights have been canceled, the price of food has gone up, and they are getting fired for their job for not doing what the government told them to do. It is scary to see, and we can see that we are living in very strange times, as it seems like every single week we are jumping from crisis to crisis. And it's not just little crises like a president tweeting or something. Instead, we see big stories like 13 soldiers dying in the Middle East. 2, the economy starting to rot right underneath our feet. As last week, there was a jobs report that came out, which would tell us how the economy is doing, and if we are actually progressing from this pandemic. Well, the answer is, well, no. In fact, the jobs report from September will probably go down as the worst in United States history. as the United States added a total of 194,000 jobs. This might sound good for some, but economists were expecting the number to be around 500,000 jobs. So we can see once again that Joe Biden missed this mark by a lot. And if we look at the job market, there are millions of jobs that need to be filled right now. I said it last week and I will say it again this week. If you drive down the road or go to a busy street, you will see McDonald's, other restaurants having huge signs that are saying, "We are hiring $15 an hour. Please come work for us." However, it seems that people just don't want to work. Now, the Biden administration should be encouraging people to go back to work, to make money, and make the economy stronger, and to also build back better, like he said over and over and over again. However, right now, there are several issues that are creeping up on Joe Biden. He wants these different corporations to make it mandatory for people to get the vaccine before they come to work. Some of those employees will say no, and then the company decides to fire them, which in turn does not help the economy and leads to businesses to struggle. Instead of Joe Biden calling out those mass firings, he's instead supporting them. Recently, he came out and made a speech and said, "Let's be clear. When you see headlines and reports of mass firings and hundreds of people losing their jobs, look at the bigger story." The bigger story, according to Joe Biden, is who cares if this little powerful person loses their job or their career? At least we have the whole company vaccinated, even though the company fired, say, 20 people. What if this situation happened to a business that is very, very important to the United States, as it helps people get from one place to another? What if airplane pilots decided that they didn't want to get the COVID 19 vaccine? Would the company fire them? And who could we get to replace these men and women? Well, it is a sad reality, but this situation may be playing out with Southwest Airlines. As on Saturday, October 9th, Southwest canceled 808 flights and delayed 1,154 flights. Then on Sunday, the very next day, the exact same thing happened. 1,007 flights were canceled and 120 flights were delayed. As we may know, being delayed is a lot better than being canceled, but still, this is annoying and got a lot of people wondering why. What is the big holdup? Well, we now turn to the most reliable source, Twitter, to find out what the real issue is. As Southwest Airlines posted, air traffic control issues and disruptive weather has resulted in a high volume of cancellations throughout the weekend while we work to recover our operation. We appreciate your patience as we accommodate affected customers as quickly as possible, blah, 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 blah. So they decided to blame the flights being canceled on the weather, but on the same day, other flights were happening. And if you've been following along with the news anywhere, there is no hurricane or tornado in America that is causing these flights to be stopped. According to my research, the day was perfectly clear to fly. As if we look at this map, sorry for audio listeners, make sure to go and check out the Dockery Docket on Spotify. There may be some surprises over there, so make sure to go ahead over there. Anyway, if we look at this map, we can see that there are barely any clouds or storm systems in the country on that day that the flights were being canceled. There have been rumors floating around that this was not the real reason that Southwest Airlines was having troubles. However, it was because there were staff, including air traffic controllers and pilots, that were taking their sick days to protest the mandates of the COVID 19 vaccine. Now, there is some evidence of this, even though the media is saying that this is not the case. Some pilots have been outspoken and claim that the new vaccine mandate is tyrannical. And according to one pilot, Southwest Airlines is making a deadline of December 8th. And if they don't comply by then, you are fired. Would this make some pilots want to leave their job in protest? For me personally, I think it would. Also, some very critical information. Before all of these different flights were canceled, Southwest Airline Pilots Association, which represents 9,000 pilots, asked the federal court on Friday to block the airline's order that all employees get vaccinated, leading to the conclusion that there is a possibility that the pilots are boycotting, or it could be the situation where the company has failed to hire enough staff, including pilots, since the pandemic has gone down. It could be like a McDonald's situation where they're saying, "Hey, we're hiring and people are not just coming on. And you can't have a flight with only one pilot, you need to have two. And if you have no pilots, then of course the plane can't go anywhere. So that was the conclusion for me. It could be both. But then something crazy happened that flipped this whole entire story on its head, as the CEO of Southwest Airlines came out and stated that he is against these vaccine mandates and blamed Joe Biden for forcing them onto this company. So, if this situation with the whole pilots resigning was just a random turn of events, then why is it that the CEO of this company is coming out and blaming Joe Biden for these vaccine mandates? We should all know what's happening here. The media is lying, and all of these different mandates are hurting other businesses as well. As flying is one thing, but buying things and getting them shipped could be a whole lot harder as the holidays start to come up. As there is a strange phenomenon that has been happening recently, as I work at grocery stores all over Michigan and have seen in some places that there are things that are missing. Shelves are completely empty. Why would this be happening? Well, there's a situation that is happening out in the sea, as there is something called shipping bottlenecking that is causing cargo ships to be stuck at different ports, or they can't even get into different ports to begin with. As according to The Guardian, 62 container ships were waiting offshore to unload their cargo. Look at this map of all these ships that are just there waiting. What is happening here is a big old mess. And there are not enough people that are willing to work to unload these different cargo ships, and there are also very few truck drivers that will then take the products into the interior of the United States. So all this cargo is just sitting there, wasting away. This hurts us, the consumer, buying different things as it won't be on the shelf because it's in the middle of the freaking ocean. But this will hurt international trade as well. As if, for example, we are getting ships from Japan full of products, more than likely we will fill up that ship and send it back to Japan. But if we have this situation where nothing can get unloaded, then Japan has to wait for the United States. Which means that the supply chain in Japan is also bad, meaning that Japan is having trouble getting things on their shelves, so it's just like a whole big domino effect. All of this can have a major effect on major items, as when things are in demand, that means that the price will go higher. It's basic economics. And when we are seeing all this inflation that is going on with less goods, then that just means that the prices are just going to rise and rise and rise. The economic situation for Joe Biden and the whole administration is dire, and it is something that every single American should be prepared for right now. As at first, when inflation started to rise, Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, was like, "Don't worry, it will all go away." Well, that was a lie. As according to CNBC, on a year-to-year basis, prices increased 5.4%, which is the highest since January 1991. This hits people straight in their wallets. As according to CNN, food prices have started to rise 0.4%. Energy prices have also gone up as well, as the energy price index rose more than 25%. That is crazy, and it is a reason that we are seeing gas prices go up so much. A few years or months ago, gas was around $1, and now in some states like California, it is almost $5, which is insane. From 2016 to 2020, the average price for gas never went over $3. And in 2021, in May, gas prices increased over $3 for the first time, and it has continued to go up since then. People are paying prices on so many things, and it's going to affect this holiday season. I mean, good luck going to Grandma's house this year with the gas prices being so high. Good luck going out and getting a turkey and finding fixings for Thanksgiving with the prices so high. And good luck getting Christmas presents for your kids this year, as there are shortages and also extreme prices. You know that Nerf gun that your kid wants? You know who I'm talking about. There's a Nerf gun that is on a boat in the middle of the ocean. And guess what? He probably won't get it this year. Everyone knows that this situation is getting worse and worse. Even the White House. As this week, a senior White House advisor warned that there may be things that we can't get for Christmas because of this bottleneck at the ports. The Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, the person that has been in charge of this whole thing, said this week that we might have to start buying things for Christmas earlier because of these different shortages. Along with this, while this entire situation was going on, Pete Buttigieg was gone for months on paternity leave as him and his husband adopted twins. Now, I understand that you want to be home with your family, especially when you have new children. However, Mayor Pete has been gone since August. And with a crisis like this happening right now, the big holiday season, we need him to get back to work and help out this country. This is his time to shine. As if this situation doesn't get fixed out, more and more people will start to get angry at Joe Biden, leading to Joe Biden to be in very tough situations. And when reality finally hits this Democratic White House, they will see that they can't blame Trump forever. All of these situations seem to be very strange, as this whole idea of a Christmas shortage came out after October 3rd, where Dr. Anthony Fauci, the greatest doctor of all time, came out and said that he wasn't sure if we can have Christmas this year. It is interesting that prices of meat are starting to go up when many politicians in the green section are saying that we should only eat 4 burgers a year. Or there was a recent article that came out that said due to climate change, steak will soon be like champagne, something for people of luxury. Is there a possibility that the government is trying to wane us off of meat? It is also interesting that prices on everything are starting to rise when Jen Psaki says that Joe Biden wants to make fundamental changes to our economy, meaning that more people are reliant on the government. More people are leaving their jobs because they know that the government is going to give them a paycheck or a stimulus check. It is also strange that gas prices are going up when this administration wants to cut global emissions, so then we can save the planet. And this is the same situation with the airlines as well, as if there are no pilots then there won't be any flying, which means that the global emissions will go down. It is almost like they are preparing us to own nothing and be happy. Don't go anywhere, just stay in your house and the government will give you a check every single week and you can buy everything off of Amazon, we promise. That's not how I want to live my life, and I hope it's not how you want to live yours as well. We cannot have a situation where we sit back and let the government do everything. We, the people, need to do something as well. Just like what the air traffic controllers did and also what the air pilots did as they took off their sick days to protest this vaccine mandate. That's what we need to do more of. We, the people, need to stand up and stick up for each other so then there isn't a tyrannical government over top of us telling us everything that we have to do. Because in the end, the people of the United States don't like any of this. They hate prices rising. They hate gas prices going up. They are upset that they can't travel. And they are scared that they're going to lose their jobs because of the vaccine. All of this will and has affected Joe Biden when it comes to his poll numbers. As right now, Joe Biden has a net approval of 43.9%. Looking at other poll numbers on the economy, Joe Biden has an approval rating of 44.3%. On foreign policy, he has an approval rating of 38.4%. And on immigration, get this, are you ready for this? Hold on to your chairs. Joe Biden has an approval rating of 32.4%. The only positive that Joe Biden has is with COVID, as he has a 51% approval rating there, which is strange because he hasn't done a good job of handling that either. We can see through all of this that Joe Biden has a big storm ahead of him, and the American people are also going through this storm as well, thanks to Joe Biden. You could say that we are having a Hurricane Brandon or something like that. I say we bunker down and fight these different mandates and vote him out in 2024. Let the chant of Let's Go Brandon rise until we finally kick him out of office. With that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.